What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button and that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all catch the video that I dropped last night. Make sure y'all go check it out. That was the part one of this video. I want to check out the part two, of course, on this video. I truly had some problems with my Wi-Fi. Literally, whole neighborhood. If you had a certain Wi-Fi, it was out literally the whole day. Like I said, if y'all watched that video, y'all definitely, I'm pretty sure I explained it. But y'all have it right here. More on the Nolan Wells case. This is Nolan Wells' friends. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say their names wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Jax Morgan and Wyatt, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check it out.
And I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine, or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house, and so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. So how did this happen? Because last time we talked, you said you told, and I will call her Miss Christine, you told Christine that you had Nolan's phone. Like, can you explain that to me? Because I'm confused. I don't know what's what. Did you tell her you had the phone? And when did you tell her you had the phone, if you did?
Okay, so first we'll start off with what I have to say, and then Jax, but and then if Morgan has something to say. But I want to get this straight. One of the first things I told Miss Christine Wells in the first phone call that ever occurred with anything to do with Nolan Wells being gone, because I was the first person to call Miss Christine about anything. First phone call in anything to do with Nolan Wells was me making a phone call to Christine Wells. And one of the first things I said to her, with multiple witnesses here, pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like, well, no, he left his phone with us. I told her this. She knew for a fact that we had his phone, and she knew that I told her, yeah, he left it on the boat with us, like a bunch of people did. And so I want to make that very clear, that I told Miss Christine there was no reason to hide anything. There was no issue regarding the cell phone. She could have came and picked it up, but instead she sent one of her friends to come pick it up, and that's where these things start to get twisted. But no, there was never an issue.
I feel like being a parent, though, like if that was my mom in the situation or my dad, my mom or dad, I don't care what the circumstances is, because I know my parents. I don't know how y'all are, but like my parents, they wouldn't send no friend, they wouldn't send no cousin, they wouldn't send my grandmother, they wouldn't send no uncle, no auntie. They come in to get it. They want to look everybody in their eye and try to figure out what's going on. What's that? I feel like a lot of the things that I'm hearing that Christine, the stepfather, obviously Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, what a lot of these, what a lot of them are doing, is simply they've pushed this whole narrative. Ben Crump has pushed this whole narrative, this whole race issue, and as they push this whole race issue, I truly find it wild. Not only Ben Crump, but like everybody on the internet. I find it to where it's like how they are acting now is that they've dug a deep hole that now they have no choice but to keep going and keep digging. I'm not gonna lie, because it's hard to get themselves out of it because the things that they have done. And I truly feel like they have pushed this whole race issue, and people are still pushing this whole race issue. And obviously, nothing is out right now. Nothing is out right now about as far as the investigation. But I truly find it odd on a lot of things that has been said from Christine, as they're saying. First of all, we have a phone that she hasn't turned into the police. I find that extremely odd, because I feel like they have that technology to find everything, literally everything. The FBI, they have that technology to do that, and I find it odd that they haven't did that yet, or it's taken them a while to even do that. Mind you, on how long it has been. Them saying that they don't know these friends, and they've clearly have parked their cars at their house, their trucks. They picked up Nolan. I find a lot of it very odd on the things that I'm hearing about them. I truly do.
With the phone, I told Miss Christine, one of the first things I told her was, we have Nolan's phone, and that's where that ends. There was no issues with the phone or the keys, so I wanted to make that clear.
So was the keys on the boat with the phone?
No. The
Okay.
keys were
They're at my house.
at Jax's house because we all stayed there the night before. I'm sure if I would have left my truck at Jax's house, I would have left my keys there too. Because if I don't
It's
have
just
my,
one more thing to
if I
think
don't-
about on the
yeah,
boat.
if I don't have my car or my truck, then why would I bring my keys on the boat? You know. So I mean, there's just no point of bringing it because if I lose them, then just more stuff to bring that I don't
Yeah.
even bring. So.
So I want you guys to explain this phone thing. I think Warren already addressed the fact that he told Christine that he had the phone in his possession. So, you know, the whole Life 360 thing is not adding up as far as what you're saying to me compared to what they're saying. Now, how did whoever came and get the phone, how did they get in touch with you guys, and how did they get the phone back?
So I got a call from a kid we went to high school with. He called me just asking me questions. He saw people posting on Snapchat, like the picture that was circulating. And he called and he was asking questions. He was like, "Where's Nolan? When's the last time y'all seen him?" And then he was like, "So where are y'all at?" And I told him, I said, "We're at Jax's house." And then Warren got on the phone, and I don't know. where that went.
So they come to my house, right? And they kind of
Hold on, before we get there. Was it confrontational or was it just
most
just trying to
definitely.
find?
Most
It was
definitely.
confrontational
Yeah,
already.
wouldn't y'all agree?
Yeah,
He was
was like-
110%.
He was very-
confrontational.
And when did this
Hostile,
happen? Was
yeah, he
this
was really
on the night of
hostile.
the 4th or the next
this
day?
was the
Night
night
of
when
the
they.
4th.
This was before they came and got the phone.
So this is the night of the 4th, yes.
He was
So you had already spoke to Christine,
correct.
and then you get a call that was hostile.
Yeah, and then Morgan handed the phone over to me. I was like, "Oh, let me talk to him," because I knew the guy, and I was just like, "Hey, like," he was like, "Where y'all at? Where y'all at?" I was like, "We're at Jackson's house." You know, it's like calm down. And then he hung up on me, and then
Okay, so they come, they pull up to my house, and at this point, I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying to put our heads together on where Nolan is, and I kind of like isolate myself in my room, just kind of get in a ball and just lose it, kind of basically for a few hours, and they just walk into my house, you know. And I hear all this commotion going on in my living room, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? So I walk out there, and there's probably like 10, 15 people in my house I don't even know. And they're all up in our faces, going crazy, asking where Nolan is, and we don't know. And finally they get into Wyatt's face, and they're like, "Where's your boat? Where's the boat at?"
demanding his address.
Demanding his address and stuff like that. And he finally ends up giving it to him. And then let me go ahead and state though, while they're there, we give them the phone. They have the phone at this point. Then they get the address to his house. Then they go to his house. And they're searching all over his boat, what I heard and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I don't really know much about that, but they come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's his dad this time. And his dad's being really respectable, really, really nice to me and stuff like that. And as long as another friend of theirs, and he's asking me like, "Where are the keys at?" I don't even know where Nolan's keys are at in my house. You know how hard it is to find a set of keys in a house, and you don't even know where to start. It's pretty hard. So I start scrambling around my house, looking. There's stuff everywhere. Keep in mind, all these people stayed the night at my house before. I'm looking through everything. I can't find the keys. I run back to his father, or his stepfather, and I was like, I don't know where the keys are. And the guy standing next to him's texting somebody. I guess I was at my house, and he said that they're on the Xbox. So I run in, I see him on the Xbox, grab him off the Xbox, and I go and hand it to him. It's plain and simple. Didn't even take 30 seconds.
No trouble.
No trouble at all. So
this narrative that they're pushing that there was any argument over the phone or the keys is completely false. Like, let's get that clear.
yeah.
Okay.
So they just kind of hang around my house, taking pictures of all the cars' license plate in the driveway, stuff like that. And so
When you say they, how many people are here this time?
like 15.
15 people that you don't know?
They had 4 or 5 vehicles.
I mean, I knew some of
Full
them I
of
went to high
people.
school with, and then some of them I just didn't know.
Now, walk me through this. How do you think it got to this point so fast?
Exactly.
That's one thing that I'm curious about. Like, you
Jumping to conclusion.
I guess so. I mean,
That's plain and simple.
They went and searched Wyatt's boat.
Yeah, they went and searched Wyatt's boat.
Like
we were hiding them in there or
hiding
something.
Nolan in his boat or something. Like, what is wrong with him? Like,
yeah, 100%.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time. After we left Jax's house that night, I was with Wyatt, and one person we were with saw that their location was headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with 911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there alone, and they know nothing about this. But Wyatt's mom actually, when they were looking at the boat, they were actually walking from the boat, and she came out and started talking to them at that point.
But did the police get involved in some degree here? Or?
Yes, that's what I'm about to get into. So whenever they were at my house hanging out, just I guess hanging out in my front yard, finally they wouldn't leave, and one of the people there came up and started banging on the door again for whatever reason, I don't know. My brother actually had to call the cops, and I think they came around 2 o'clock in the morning and removed them from our property. And after that, really haven't.
And I'm not gonna lie, I can definitely tell. Like, obviously, it's a lot of emotions here. It's a lot of emotions, from the family, from the friends, especially when everybody gets to point the finger and they don't know really what's going on. It's not right. I'm not saying that it's right at all to do that, to come to somebody's residence or being on somebody's property, acting a fool. And I know, it's definitely something that, again. It can be emotional. It's definitely emotional. But it also can be traumatizing to a lot of people, that are within this. Like I said, I'm not pushing to say that it's completely wrong to do, especially going to somebody's house at 2 a.m. Obviously, everybody still to this day wants answers on what has actually happened.
Spoken to them since, but yeah, we had to call the cops and make them leave.
The cops came, you told them to leave, and then is there anything else that you addressed with the cops while they were there?
Yeah, so the cops were asking me why these people are at my house in the first place, and I told them straight up, we don't know where our friend is at. I don't know where my best friend's at. These people don't know where their friend's at. We're trying to figure it out, and they're basically assuming that we did something to our friend, which we didn't. And he said, okay, just taking notes, and then remove them from there.
Do you think that this had anything to do with race at this point? Meaning that they approached you because of race, or they approached you because you were the last people with no.
So at this point, they just want answers. I don't think this was about race at this point. They're mad and furious, and they don't know what's going on.
But
I'm not gonna lie, but that just goes to show you too, though. Like, this is not okay. We about to start playing a blame game. I'm about to say that they did this, they did that, they did come with intentions on being like this, and I find it. I can definitely agree with seeing what has happened. I can definitely sit here and agree that it just came to, okay, the emotions are like that. I feel like when it came about, when it was about race, from my understanding, is when Ben Crump and Al Sharpton came in the picture, and when you have everybody else, when that picture circulated, you had everybody else, that's the problem right there. Because you're obviously, I can put this full blame on Ben Crump and Al Sharpton, but just knowing, it's 2026, you have a lot of people, like I've said, within the Carmelo Anthony situation that has came from that, and then you have somebody that is missing on the water in Mississippi. I want y'all to just put it in perspective. You have somebody that's missing in the water in the Mississippi, and y'all have a picture that's circulating with Nolan and three of his friends. You got Nolan that is, I'm not sure if he's biracial, but I'm pretty sure he's biracial or something like that. And then you got 3 white friends. So you have that, they're automatically going to, so they're going to make up, a whole bunch of narratives, obviously. And that's truly where I feel like then it started, because you gotta think if something just not happened, like, oh, where's Nolan? You know, people gonna come to you full force. You're not thinking about, a lot of times you're not thinking about race right then and there, but you're thinking about, where's my friend, where's my son, where's my grandson, where's my, so you're thinking of those things. So
Get this straight. Like, I know some of these people, and these people are like good people.
Yeah.
And I went to high school with these guys. Like, they know me and I know them, and they know my friends and they know them. This wasn't about race. They just knew for a fact that Nolan went on the boat with us. And they were worked up, and that's okay. And they were mad, but that wasn't handling things. That wasn't trying to help. You getting mad isn't helping anything. But instead of solving the problem and trying to figure out, hey, where is Nolan? They were just getting pissed off and not handling things the right way. And I mean, that's what happened.
You guys said you ended up going and looking for Nolan the next morning, but you said you were thinking about doing it that night.
Yes.
And why didn't you do it that night?
So we already called the Coast Guard at this point. We didn't have access to a boat that was already in the water ready to go, other than one that I'm just not allowed to use at all. And I was still this close to taking it out. I mean, I was right there.
So you guys go the next morning, you look for Nolan. Can you explain how did that happen? Who was looking for Nolan? Who was on the boat? Was it multiple boats? Was
Multiple
it one
boats.
boat? Okay, can you explain that? Who was, out of this group, who was on what boat, or who was on a boat or not, going out and looking for Nolan?
So me, Wyatt, and Trayson got in the boat. We got in the Palm Beach that morning, the morning after, and we rode out to the islands, and we were met by a DMR. There was 7 DMR boats already out there, DMR and park rangers. We talked to them, we gave them all of our information. They personally asked if any of us were on the boat with him that day. We told them yes. They just said, all right, well, I mean, we got the area scoped out. And then after that, we just went up to the beach. I think we met up with y'all in the water.
I took my boat out with Jax and a couple friends of mine, and then my mom and my stepdad. And
Oh, they were out there too with you?
correct. And I just met Morgan and Wyatt and Trayson and his girlfriend out there. And we actually, when I rolled up, I parked up next to Morgan and everybody who was with him, and I was like, well, y'all can run around, or we all planned this out. Morgan was gonna run around the south side while we covered the north side, and we were just gonna try to cover as much ground as possible. But I mean, there were so many DMR boats and helicopters and drones and everything else out there. I don't really know what an 18 and a 25-foot bay boat is really gonna do. So I mean, we sat out there. We went for a couple hours and we looked around and we searched, but we also don't fit the requirement that DMR has, and the tools that DMR and United Cajun Navy and all these departments have to look for somebody. We didn't put that much of a help out, but yes, of course, we went out there and looked for our friend. That's not a question.
Who else in the friend group was out there? Did you see Nolan's family? Did you see some of the other kids that showed up at your house? You see anybody else out there?
We did see
couple other.
we met up with a coach that was previously Nolan's high school coach. We met up with him. They said that they had previously already been on the island. They walked a good bit down the island both ways, and they were just driving around the island like we were doing. And we eventually got off the island. We got on this rip current. It was going west out towards Ship Island, and then back towards Biloxi. And we drove that for a couple miles. People were also looking on that too. There was multiple boats out there not associated with DMR with binoculars. There was people fishing the rip, and we asked them, they rode it all the way from Ocean Springs all the way out to Horn Island, and we were like, did you see anything, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, if a person is floating in the water, treading water, they are going to be most likely in the rip. And that all comes into play with the washing machine. I mean, you got
Explain the washing machine for me.
Horn Island and Ship Island, I mean, they come like this, and then there's no island right here, so it just tons of water flows through, the tide goes out. I mean, sometimes it gets pretty gnarly in there, and it creates this big old pool, basically. Yeah. And I mean, if someone was floating, treading water out in the water, that's where they would be. They could be hung up, they could grab onto a log and float with a piece of driftwood or something, or they could find a channel marker or a buoy and grab onto that. So, I mean, there was just main keys that you search for, like when you're trying to search for a missing person that has to do with water. And I mean, it's either the island, the buoys, or the rip. And then after that, there's not really anything else you can do. Seriously.
And when did you guys communicate with law enforcement? Because the internet, I think, has this false information that you guys never contacted authorities, and that Warren actually talked to me, or you guys talked to me first before you engaged. So when did you guys actually talk to law enforcement?
How does that even make sense? Like, there's no way.
Enforcement to give your statements to them.
So, as soon as we got off the water from searching for Nolan,
which is on the day of the 5th?
Yeah, the 5th. As soon as we got off the water, I got a phone call. And I believe he got a phone call too.
Yeah, I got a phone call while we were out there.
I got a phone call too as well.
So basically what it was saying was, hey, take a few questions over the phone, answer the questions, and then they had a date for us to come in for actual questioning.
Okay.
And mine was the 6th, there was like the next day or something like that, you know. I think theirs was too.
I believe mine was the 7th, I would like to say, but not for sure. But
mine was around.
Regardless, like we all cooperated fully. It's not like we had something. Like
full cooperation from the start. Yeah, really.
100%.
And how deep did they go
too?
in this interview with you guys?
Oh, they asked
all the way. I mean, they asked.
I mean,
how long was the interview? Like, was it a
an
long, lengthy interview?
Hour and a half. I dotted every I, crossed every T. I told my friends, like, listen, go in there and like say every detail of like even what you like ate for breakfast that morning. It doesn't matter, everything you have, because like anything could help. You literally never know. And like it's what we all did. Like we all cooperated. We all wanted to help. We all did everything that we could to help. Regarding this situation, it's not like we just like.
I could say personally, I started my story from the night before.
Yeah, I started
whenever I got off work on Friday.
I started my story from last 5th of July. Like, she was like, all right, take me back to day one. And I was like, all right, I mean, we've been talking about this since the 5th of July last year. Like what we're gonna do, like how we're gonna make this better, how are we gonna make this funner, like.
As far as the investigation is concerned, did you guys give your phones over to investigators?
Yes, we gave our phones over freewillingly, just to give our phones
trying to
over.
see about those phones, you know, if they had, you know, got asked and if they gave them their phones.
Let them look through them, whatever they wanted to do, and got them back.
Because we have nothing to hide. We wanted to be fully transparent with, you know, the sheriff's department, everybody else including the FBI, and you know, anything to do with justice, we wanted to help out, and that's what we did. We gave our phones up, and like Jack stated, we literally have nothing to hide. So.
Yeah.
And everybody gave their phones up.
Correct.
Yep.
To be forensically evaluated by the FBI.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So while on the topic of phones, did you guys have any access to Nolan's phone? Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone? What's your thoughts on Miss Christine saying things may have been deleted?
My thought is that's a blatant lie. I know for a fact that this is the thing. We have no reason to get on Nolan's phone. I have no reason to get on any of my friends' phones. If I had a reason to get on Nolan's phone, I wouldn't be able to get on it because I don't know Nolan's password. I don't know any of my friends' passwords. If I handed Jax my phone right now, he wouldn't be able to get on my phone. I have nothing.
I'd have him permanently locked out of that thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to get on Nolan's phone to delete anything. But in the first place, we have nothing to delete on Nolan's phone. Like, I don't know what this, because Nolan didn't take Snapchats that day. That means things were deleted.
He was just living in the moment.
We were just living in the moment, like every guy on the planet Earth does. I mean, like I'm not sitting here filming my whole day, and I get Nolan. Yeah, took a lot of pictures, but just because Nolan didn't take any pictures from July 3rd to July 4th doesn't mean we deleted something. No, Nolan just didn't take any pictures, and that's perfectly fine. I have one video in my camera roll saved from the 4th of July. So
last question, is there anything you guys want to say to the audience regarding this interview that wasn't covered, or something you just want to get off your chest?
I mean, Nolan was like a brother to all of us. I mean, we loved him dearly.
Yeah, Nolan was like a brother to us, and I can say without a doubt, nobody wants to know
I'm not gonna
what
lie.
happened to him.
A lot of people had, and you know, I'm not about to sit here and agree, because a lot of people had. Let me go right here. I had seen this on TikTok.
Nolan.
This right here. Because he was smiling. A lot of people were saying, you know, they're hiding something. You know, he's smiling, he's this, he's that. Again, I don't know, obviously, what has happened within this case. Y'all don't know what has happened within this case. And I'm gonna basically make it make sense as far as, you know, I'm gonna make it make sense as far as what I've observed. First of all, they've said that they left. They said that they left, and Nolan was with a girl. They were trying to, you know, obviously have him leave. From what I'm hearing, they were trying to get him to leave, you know, with them, and he was with a girl still. Before that, they did take that picture, and that picture was posted. Obviously, that was one of the first pictures that was posted, from my understanding. Within this interview, I've noticed that I'm not sure what his his name Jax. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this one is Jax, if I'm not mistaken. In the white shirt. I can definitely tell. Because a lot of people are obviously saying, oh, it's something going on. He's smiling. From this whole interview, if y'all just watch, he looks nervous. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, you give him an excuse. I know I'm going to have bad comments. He looks nervous. He looks like, you know, one of those individuals that, and I don't want to make this sound the wrong way, because having my friend group within the three of us, somebody is childish. He's probably the more immature one, you know, about this. A lot of people, oh, why is he smiling? And his friend is this, his friend is that. A lot of people, you know, do and take interviews different way. Not to say, you know, but from my understanding, and from the things that, you know, obviously is told, from the things that we truly are seeing, that these individuals had nothing to do with what, you know, happened within Nolan.
He's like a brother to us, and I can say without a doubt, nobody wants to know what happened to him more than we do. I mean, we want to know what happened to our best friend more than anybody, and I promise you that.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's like sat here and supported us through this horrible moment. I mean, we're still teenagers at the end of the day, and for the internet to come and people to come and accuse you of killing your best friend, it's a horrible thing. And I know Nolan wouldn't want this.
Oh, no.
And it's terrible that it's come to this. It's terrible that it's come to a race battle. But you know, I want everybody to know how much we appreciate the support, and that my friends and I literally sit there and pray for everybody who's sitting here and sending this hate on everybody. Like, my friends are really upset about this, and so am I, that like this has turned into this huge thing. So, you know, I just want people to know that, you know, we're praying for people. Our faith with the Lord's strong, and you know, we're gonna make it through this regardless of what people say about us.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. Nolan is turning in his grave right now. This is the last thing he would ever want his friends to be going through.
Yeah.
Like the absolute last. Like, This is he's gosh, he would not want any of this. He wouldn't want this publicity. The fact that we couldn't even go to our best friend's funeral because, one, we didn't want to take the attention away from him. I mean, that was his day. We didn't want to do that.
And from my understanding, it's that they're having a candle lighting. We're gonna go more over that tomorrow, possibly. But it was some bad things that was said if they were to show up, if any of his friends were to show up, the ones that they're threatening and stuff like that. I find truly disgusting. We're gonna get more into that tomorrow, though. Most likely.
Couldn't even go to our best friend's funeral is horrible. That's something we got to live with.
The rest of our lives.
So you say you couldn't go. Can you explain that a little more? What were you told that you couldn't go, or was it something that you derived from the feedback that you've been getting from the family? What made you ultimately make the decision not to go to the funeral?
So it was a little bit of both. It was one. Well, at first we had our heads down. We're like, all right, we're gonna go. We want to go. This is the last time we ever get to see our best friend. We're gonna go. And then as soon as we made up our minds with that, everybody was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you are not. You are going to either get jumped, hurt, something bad's going to happen to you, you go to that funeral. And then on top of that, they point out another fact that we're going to take the attention away from him, and that's the last thing we want to do.
Yeah, 100%. And then, like they both said, like Nolan's like a brother to us, and now me and all my friends have to live with. Imagine you were 19 years old and your best friend just died, and now the whole internet's accusing you of killing him. And on top of that, you can't go to his funeral and say your last goodbyes to one of your best friends. Because regardless, Morgan and Jax feel the same way, and so does White, everybody else. I can speak on their behalf about this. Regardless about what the internet says about our relationships with Nolan, we know from the bottom of our heart who Nolan was to us and who we were to Nolan. And at the end of the day, I could say this confidently. We were Nolan's closest friends, and we were Nolan's best friends. And this isn't a competition. I know a bunch of guys that were best friends with Nolan too. Like Javon and him. Javon and Nolan were like brothers too, but this isn't to take attention away from them, but this was a brotherhood. This was my brother. And for someone to take away, and the internet to take away our privileges to go to his
funeral. And that's honestly once that picture, came about, you can definitely tell that the internet, obviously I tell you all the time that social media is a hell of a drug. I say that because social media is very strong. So many people are on social media. So many people are saying things on social media. So when you have that, it truly becomes a strong thing. Not to mention, again, a lot of this came from a lot of supporters, a lot of people that, were in support of Carmelo Anthony. As y'all know, things are going to get pretty tough. Coming up, with this investigation already. Carmelo Anthony's hearings coming up on August 19th and August 20th. There's a lot of things that's going on. So you have a lot of people that's in support of Carmelo Anthony that's pushing this whole thing of, okay, we see 3 white young men with this black young man that is on a boat. He ended up missing, and this is what we're going to push. Not even knowing, obviously how they feeling. This is their friend. We're not seeing that, any evidence. We're not seeing anything that they've done, and that's what makes it sickening is that the internet could be so wild with things, truly, and disgusting.
I think this was a racial thing is absolutely horrible. And we all feel that way. It's sick. Seriously, it's absolutely sick.
Thank you guys for coming on the interview. I think it's very courageous and brave. I know that you guys know this, that people are gonna say things about you, lie on you, even after listening to what you have said on this interview, even the truth that you've displayed on this interview, even with the other interview we did, that there's gonna be lawsuits for defamation. People are still gonna lie. But I wanna say, after getting a chance to meet you guys, that I'm very proud of you guys for telling your side.
Appreciate it.
It's not easy. And I hope that the world could at least give you a chance by hearing what you have to say. And the truth is gonna come out, right? It's gonna bear witness if you guys are being honest or not at the end of the day. But I applaud you for taking a step at such a young age to come out and at least, tell your side. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
All right, y'all,
One thing about it is that big shout out to Brandon, Officer Tatum, for putting this on. This was something that I feel like is definitely needed. A lot is for to know truly what has going on, to know their side of the story with things. So many people go and they say, "Oh, well, they're hiding, and they this had happened, and they said this and this," But then you have them actually speaking out and actually talking about the situation that happened, and people yet still have something to say. That just goes to show you that. And what makes it even more scary is that when it comes about riots, like I've said, the Carmelo Anthony, that hearing is coming up. I truly don't believe that it's going to go further than what it is, and he has to face those consequences. But you're going to have a lot of people that's already acting a certain way about that. Then you have this situation, regardless. I know that there's a big possibility there's no evidence whatsoever. But then again, coming out no evidence, they rule it, a drowning. Or not, or somebody or individuals have done something, or they rule a drowning. I truly feel as if there would be more so a reaction coming out of the black community within a lot, and that's what makes a lot of things, majority of the black community, I should say, it makes a lot of things pretty much wild and crazy, and that's what gets me out of it. And I don't know, it's just truly wild. I find it very sickening of what people do. Like I said, internet has caused a lot of it, and I feel like Ben Crump, Al Sharpton definitely fed off a lot of that. They truly did. But you already know, definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me. Definitely been, it's been pretty tough. But one thing about it, gonna keep you updated on more and more news. Catch y'all next one.